Stillwater this morning, Scramble. Glad to have you here. And Scott Petty is in. Good to see you again.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me, Steve.
And
Did you see the sunrise this morning?
You were no, I was in here working.
You were already
Scott.
working. Yeah, we need a window in here for you. I was thinking, wouldn't it be great to have like a penthouse type position so you could see 360 around Stillwater. You see what's coming, and
if we were
might
high
be
up in the air,
bit,
it would be. But yeah, but we had that conversation with somebody yesterday, in fact, and we were talking about it. And I said, no, I like it like this because we've all heard radio where they're talking and go, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right. Yeah.
Or you just are zoned out somewhere. And so I like it because
it's easy to have a distraction.
That's why I leave. We have TV monitors in here.
Yep.
And it used to be right over my shoulder, and I would have whatever would be on the Today Show or whatever would be on. And then the guest who was sitting where you are, who was looking over my shoulder, would be going, "What happened in Bolivia?" Because, they'd be showing an earthquake or something.
The ticker on the bottom says that Bubba Wallace won,
right.
Whatever. Yeah,
that's exactly right. And so it just works out better this way for me.
Yeah.
So less distraction.
I get it. Well, it was a beautiful sunrise. If you're not out of your house yet, I think the sky is dissipated, or the filtration anyway, from the vapors or whatever that is up there in the sky that makes it. Dave Deacon could have told us all about that.
Yeah, he could have. I forget how long ago it was, but it has to be the right time of the year. When I come up the hill to where the lake is, sometimes it's breathtaking. It really is.
Yeah.
Orange,
yeah,
and it's
beautiful.
And I've had days. I had one this year, where I'm going, shoot, I got 5 more minutes. And so I literally turned around, drove down by where the deck is at the lake, and I'm like every other geek out there. I get a camera out, and this guy in a pickup pulls up, and he goes, "Don't worry, buddy, I did the same thing." Because it took your breath away.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And so
one of the privileges of living in Stillwater,
and the wide open spaces a little bit,
yeah.
and the sun rising or setting over water is just beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So
you're right there by the water.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you're driving, east in the morning, it's like, all right,
that's beautiful.
So
very cool.
Anyway, so how you been?
Great. Just pumping along here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always ask about your dad, because I think about your dad a lot.
Yeah,
and these are times that we've got to endure, but you said he's doing okay.
He's doing well. He's had both of his vaccines, and at 81, he's probably more active than a lot of 60-year-olds, honestly. He's
I asked if he was hunkering down, and you go, "You don't know my dad very well." That's a few weeks ago, but it was like, no, he's not slowing down.
Yeah, no. He's telling me he's out walking the golf course the other morning and saw some deer and turkeys, and he's they've there's a lot of that great wildlife out west, and I'm sure he's enjoyed these sunrises too.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to go to a lot of things. You mentioned the vaccine, and did he get the Pfizer or Moderna?
He got the Moderna. Pfizer? He got the Moderna. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom had hers a week ago Saturday, so she's at about the 10-day mark.
Right.
Which, when your own family gets it and you're worried about your family, you start looking up and doing all your research. And so after 10 days, I think they start getting it said with the Pfizer about 52% effective or something like that. So that's a good feeling. Yeah. And their second one comes, I think, the 13th.
Yeah.
Because there's the 3 weeks in Pfizer, and I guess it's a little different with Moderna.
Yeah,
but
it is 28 days with Moderna.
It is a reassuring feeling. I mean, we want to get her through it.
Sure.
Just like what you are with your dad, but you're just grateful, and you also feel for the people who are trying so hard to get one, and it is frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah, and we learned this week about a family friend. Actually, it's one of my wife's family friends that lives in another state, but their family all got together for Christmas. None of them wore masks.
Yeah.
The mother got COVID. Everybody got COVID, actually. But the mother got COVID, got very ill, went to the hospital, and she died.
Wow.
Now,
and
how do you reconcile that?
Yeah.
Now they were very much just feeling like, it's not going to affect us. We're, if we get it, we get it, but we've been over this, and I'm not going to retread it. So it's just an unfortunate reality of the pandemic, and what we don't know are what's the shakeout of what's going to happen with these new variants. And we're they threw up a map last night, and of course there's all these states in the middle of the country, like from Oklahoma, Kansas, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, that don't seem to have it. Believe me, we have it. We've got the variant. It's here. It's just we don't have identified cases yet. I think fewer people are not getting tested. I mean, excuse me.
Right.
I think there are fewer people getting tested, and that's one of the reasons that our numbers have come down. Thankfully, our hospitalizations are pretty steady at about 20, but unfortunately, the deaths have been, very consistently high since Christmas, since before Christmas, and that was an effect of Thanksgiving. Whitney Bailey put out on Facebook, if you don't follow Oklahoma Source, she shares it a lot, but Oklahoma Source is its own Facebook page, and they put out data, and it's factual information about how Oklahoma's doing and kind of our rates. And they put out a graph that showed here was Halloween, here was Thanksgiving, here was Christmas, here's New Year's, here's the start of school. And it's very evident to see those spikes. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So.
Scott, with the students back at OSU now, the one thing Kyle Ray was in last Friday, or we were talking on the phone, and they've done their testing there.
Yeah.
And on a positive note, the fact that their tests were less than 1% positive, and they were really pleased with that. So it sounds like maybe the young folks are adhering to the guidance they're given, but people did kind of follow the guidelines there to a certain extent. So maybe we won't have that post students returning back at OSU spike that we feared.
Possibly. I think probably a lot of them either did have it and had no symptoms back in the summertime or the fall once they got here. How many people did they pass it on to? We'll never know. You know, and so, but you're right. I mean, on campus, my wife teaches on campus, and I mean, it sounds like people are very, very compliant on campus. It's what happens when they go off campus that we don't really know about, but it's the reality of a young person. I think I mentioned
you're social,
yeah, they're very social, and we're glad they're part of our Stillwater community. And I'm grateful for the university for taking the actions that they have to say this is the way it's going to be. Whether I got to go to the basketball game on Saturday, my son and I, and a friend offered us tickets at the last minute, and I was like, you know what? I've had both my vaccines. He's already had COVID. We wore our mask the whole game. You're very well distanced from other people. I felt very safe, and it was a fantastic basketball game.
I'm glad you got to see that. 'Cause I watched it, and for those of us who have been here a while, it was also the Remember the 10 on the men's side the day there. But the unveiling the Naismith honor for
so
Eddie
cool.
Sutton.
Yeah, it was great to see Corey Williams and Scott Sutton pull that off, and they lifted the cover, where they had printed right below Coach Sutton's name on the court, and it was just it was very touching to see that, and I know it was special for Corey to be back and be a part of that. I think
when I moved to town, which was in '92, Corey was on that. He was in the starting lineup on those really great teams with. The carryover from Byron Houston was still here on the first team I saw.
And we're not talking about Stillwater's Corey Williams.
Because he won't play defense. So the Corey that we know. But this Corey Williams was lightning fast.
Yeah, very
quick. And he actually got drafted, I believe,
Bulls.
By the Bulls. He played for the Bulls a little bit, but I think he got drafted. It seems like by the Kansas City Chiefs, just because he was so fast. And they just, hey, we'll give it a try. And I don't think he ever followed up on that, but I think he was a late draft choice and go, okay, this guy's got lightning speed.
Wow.
You never know. Maybe
I forgot about that.
He could return kicks or something like that. He could have been the Tyreek Hill of his day.
Yeah? Well, I don't know about that.
Tyreek's pretty fast.
Tyreek's pretty fast.
Yeah. So, but no, and I just saw it on TV, but I thought how cool that is for him, along with Scott, who they're very good friends.
Yeah.
They've coached together. Yeah. But also to be getting a nice ovation at Gallagher Iba Arena.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
And I wish we could have had a packed arena. It's there's so much emotion in that day, and it's so special for our players and our coaches and our fans, and it's cool to be a part of that special day. And I got to meet Dan Lawson's brother, Eric Jordan, that was here, and he was sitting with Andre Williams, and
Andre and Daniel were roommates.
Roommates, that's right. And so that was nice for him. I think that was the first time he'd been back in 20 years, and so It's hard to believe. It's been 20 years, and I texted and talked to both Chad Weiberg, and Karen Hancock, and some of the people that I've been close to over the years, and before the crash, and it's special for them, and there was a nice article in the New York Times even by Josh Crutchmer, who's a writer that was on the O'Cauley staff at the time, and he talked a little bit in this New York Times article about how he dealt with it and how he didn't deal with it. And
I haven't seen this.
Yeah, it's a nice piece.
Okay.
I'll have to share it with you, but anyway, I reached out to Josh. I don't really know him, but I told him how much I thought that meant to the families. I saw it was shared several times on Twitter, but it's all those things collectively, and he talked about just the amazing support that our community provided to those families and to the team and to the university at that time, and it's not just Stillwater. It's really our Oklahoma State alumni family as well, but. It was special. It was a nice article.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to go to that too.
Yeah, I was too. It's the only game I've been to this year.
See, I haven't been. You were
stay
down there
away.
sitting with Bernie Sanders, I believe. weren't you?
That's right. Yeah.
Is that funny or not?
That's awesome. There's some great cutouts down there.
And it goes all across party lines. I mean, it's great not to have. It's not political. It's just funny.
It's all funny. Yeah,
it's just funny, and you go, "There's Bernie."
Yeah,
and I think
cool.
he was by Ann Hargis.
Okay, I didn't. Yeah, I think they were on
appropriately.
down the way.
I think he was sitting to her left.
I did see the real Burns Hargis. He was there.
Yeah. Anyway, that's cool. So I'm going to get a brief time out, then we'll dive into some stuff here as we roll on Stillwater's Morning Scramble. Scott Petty is in with Stillwater Medical Center.